Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, the 23rd of October, 2021. And as I always say, I hope you are all very well today and are looking forward to the show. First of all, I would just like to say our thoughts are with the family and friends of Helena Hutchins. I think we all know what that's about, so we will just leave it at that. So, as I always say, I hope you're all very well. And normally, what we do is the news from Hollywood. So, let's do the news from Hollywood. The news from Hollywood this week is blah, 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 fucking blah. Shall we get the guest out? I think we should. First up, she is the Princess of Xanadu, but she's the queen of this channel, all the way from the land of Texas, Landshire. It's Renier.
Hey,
Hello.
how's it going?
Very good. You?
I'm totally fine. Thanks for asking. No, it's been an exhausting week, but I'm so glad to be here.
Did you like my the news from Hollywood this week? Blah blah blah, fucking blah.
Yeah, yada yada yada. Done.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go from now on, don't you?
Yeah, because there's not a whole lot of good news. Even though they say no news is good news, but in these times, I think people need a little bit of happiness, and I hope we can bring that to them.
I'm sure you're the person to do that. You bring us toxic males on the channel happiness, so well done.
Okay, thanks.
You know what the next question is, don't you?
Should we get the next guest on?
Easy for you to say. I think we should. Okay, so next up, it's the wingman of the channel, all the way from New York, New York. It's the Cat of P. Hey up.
Word to all, Mr. Brown, my American
Word up.
paisan, Miss Rennie.
What up, P-Cat?
How is everybody?
Pretty good. Are you?
No major complaints. And let me add, when I hear now the blah blah blah, now I'm hearing the Charlie Brown teacher voice, the wah 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 wah.
Wah 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 wah.
Wah, 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 wah,
Wah 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 wah.
I will just say, quickly going back to the tragic thing that happened. I can't believe there are channels going in depth about it and some quite vicious
they're
Twitter stuff.
exploiting it.
What
It's
the
awful.
fuck is wrong with these people? Just
To exploit
total.
a tragedy for ratings or thumbs up or whatever is disgusting. It's disgusting.
It is. It is.
You have to have compassion, even if you don't like. I'm not a fan of Alec Baldwin. Despise his politics, but come on, who wants to wish or take glee in what happened? One person is dead. One person is injured, and I don't know what I would do if I was in Baldwin's shoes.
He's got to be beating himself up. Does he want a constant reminder of him? I can only imagine how I would feel, and I think that honestly, people need to leave him alone for a little bit.
Somebody posted a photograph. I think it was one of the newspapers in the UK, literally of him straight after.
It looks awful. Poor thing. I would feel the same way.
Yeah.
Okay, so P-Cat, you know what I'm going to ask you, don't you?
It is time to bring in the next contestant. Oh, I'm sorry, the next guest.
Oh, no.
Well, there's no money to be given away on this channel, unfortunately. So, next up is the jester from Leicester, the channel's very own Mr. Sandman lyricist, Star Wars fan. It's the novelist. He's going for the War and Peace record of words. It's the Swappity Swap. Oh.
Well, hello everybody. How is everyone?
Hello, Matthew.
Hey, Swap Shop.
Hello there, good sir.
Good to hear everyone's voice.
You okay?
Yeah. I ate some bad cream cheese earlier.
Ooh.
My stomach has been reacting accordingly.
Oh.
I'm glad I wore black underwear
Oh,
You
And
saying you got the bubble guts?
and it's all truthful.
oh. So if you
Noise.
have to pop off, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, I popped off earlier. Not like that.
Oh,
I popped off earlier just to check. You know what I mean? And it was just gas. So I reckon I'm good.
oh.
Bubbles.
Much like the next guest, to be fair. But
Oh, yeah, he knows what I'm talking
do
about.
you know
I'll tell you
what-
what, at the moment, I could genuinely blow a little model yacht across a bathtub.
oh,
So the Willy Wonka chocolate river.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
poor man's jacuzzi.
Oh my goodness.
Matt G is in. Bacon, 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 bacon.
Don't get me started
Matt
on
G, would you tell Mayor McCheese we'd love for him to make a comeback?
Yeah. So, other than the shitting through the Ivan Needle, Matthew, you're fine.
Yes, my bottom trumpet is well tuned up, and I'll make sure I mute the mic if it ever goes off.
So you're going to give us
get
literally
him.
shits and giggles tonight.
Oh my god.
Definitely giving myself
That's
all of
every
them.
stream. You're not the next question, is that you, Matthew?
Oh, pardon me.
Think about it.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I think you should get him out of the
Yeah,
closet.
let's get him out. Let's wheel him out. And last, but by no means least, the wise elder of the channel, the writer, the portal, the director, and fully paid up member of the Selfridges Appreciation Society. He is the great mega geek himself, Mr. Ian David Diaz. Hello?
Oh, sorry. I was just watching Bond. Sorry.
Well, what's he up to now?
No, I'm just so upset with the last Bond. I have to sort of watch the rest of them just to remind me of what Bond really is about. So I was
Leave
just
that
watching.
nasty taste out of your mouth. So to
Yeah,
speak.
exactly.
I
I
thought
was
you were about
watching.
to say that that's what you named your goldfish or something like that.
No, not at all.
Moonraker was on today.
It was, and it was really interesting because ITV was showing a 4K version of
Oh,
Moonraker, and it looks spectacular. But you can see all the little mistakes that was in it if you looked carefully. Like
Oh,
for
wow.
instance, today I was just watching it by off chance. There's a bit in it where Roger Moore gets into a helicopter and it's flown by this really gorgeous woman. 1 minute she's wearing the headphones, the next minute she's not. Then she's wearing the headphones, then she's not. So I didn't notice that before. I guess 4K actually shows you stuff that you never saw before at all. So
Less than
it's
4K
interesting.
headphones
Sorry?
away. Less
What's
than
that?
4K takes your headphones away.
No, but I mean, I never noticed that before. So, but the other stuff in it as well, like for instance, the sound is because the sound's been amped a bit. You can hear all the creaks of the chairs and all that stuff, and see how old Roger Moore really is because he does look old in that film.
The creaks will be his body moving.
Yeah,
creaking,
probably.
That's what it'll be. Yeah.
But
Yes,
honestly, I don't know if you guys watched it today. You must have watched a bit of it today, Mr. Brown. Yes.
I didn't because by the time I realised it was on, it was over.
But I mean, when you were looking at the models in space and stuff like, they look like they were Airfix models because how clear the picture was. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So it was pretty because I haven't got it on 4K. I've got it on ordinary Blu-ray, but I haven't got it in 4K. So I need to buy it in 4K.
Even the shuttle taking off in the hangar.
Well, there's some shots that look really fantastic, but the shots in
such an amazing
space.
Shot.
When they're fighting, when they're shooting at each other, you can tell they're little models and stuff because it's so clear. The picture's so clear, it's incredible. But there you go. Yeah. Anyway, I should get off that.
How did you feel knowing what happens to Bond?
No, I don't accept that film. I don't accept Master Universe, even though I'm not a big wasn't a big fan. I don't accept the last 3 Star Wars films. I'm not accepting the next Indiana Jones movie. I didn't accept the last Bond film. I don't. These don't live in my mind anymore. That's why I want to erase them from my mind and just watch the films that were in history and that were meant to be.
Yeah.
So
on 10 minutes, I'm just going to say I think this No Time to Die is the only James Bond film that I actually do not want to go back to the cinema to watch it again.
I mean, Matt, I don't know how you felt, but I don't know if you've seen it, but I never want to see that film ever again. Ever. The script is so awful.
First time, I don't think.
Sorry?
That really makes me want to see it for the first time.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. I wasn't tempted to watch it at all, especially after the reports that we got about a year or so ago about the movie and how the reshoots were happening, and that Bond's probably going to be giving his title to a woman, and then it gets closer to the date, and we continue to hear this stuff, and I'm just not. Yeah, I could live the rest of my life not watching that movie and be okay.
Yeah.
I've not even got a problem with the script. Admittedly, it is a bit it is a bit loose. But it's
the
just
thing
the
is,
ending.
though,
It's like, no, come on.
No, it's
just
not
the
even
ending.
that. The script is really awful. People are too busy looking at the fireworks to notice what's happening on the ground. And then this film's a prime example of that, right? Tell me something, right? What did we know about Saffron? And I'll give you the answer. Absolutely
really.
Fuck all. Because the villain was so bad and it was so badly written. We never knew any. He turns up trying to kill the girl. Then he lets her go for no reason. Then he's rich for some reason. He's a billionaire for some reason.
Yeah.
Then he has an island for some reason. You know what I mean? For some reason. There's no reason. There's no explanation at all. It is a terrible script. And that's just one example of how bad that script is. As I said, they blind you with all this action and special effects and stuff like that, and and the performances are really good. They blind you with that, but when you look at the script carefully, it does not work. It really doesn't. It makes no sense.
That sounds awful. I will say, I know you guys don't really like Skyfall, but I do think that Javier Bardem was a great villain.
Yeah, I love the bit where he touches up Bond's leg and says, "Ooh, Mr. Bond."
Ooh, Mr. Bond.
That kind of made sense, didn't it? Oh dear, oh dear.
The early days.
But at least you knew why he was crazy, because he felt like he got screwed over by MI6. But
tell me something. Did Drax touch up Bond's leg?
We don't know. Never saw it.
Did Scaramanga touch up Bond's leg? No. It's just crap.
He inadvertently gave him a third nipple, though.
No, he was born with a third nipple.
Oh my goodness!
I've got 3 nipples.
Oh dear.
I've got a third
my,
nipple.
Mr. Brown.
Where'd you keep it?
Are you like Chandler from Friends? Do you call it nubbin?
No, I just don't know. I just never think about it. I've just got one. That's it. Just where you go. It's only a tiny one, but yeah, I'm a freak
of nature.
I don't know what to do.
Well,
with
you
that,
all
man.
knew that anyway. Right then, guys. So we're all agreed. James Bond.
No, it's all right. People like it, but as I said, as a filmmaker and as a person who uses logic to go through life and movies, if you look at that script carefully, it makes there's things missing in it, and you're like, well, why isn't that explained? Why isn't that explained? Why isn't... You know what? Right, this guy has an army on a private island, and who do they send in? 2 people, Bond and the woman Bond. They send in to take on a whole army. Even in Spy Love Me, he had the Navy with him. Even in You Only Live Twice, he had the ninjas with him. Do you know what I mean? Why would you send just Bond in there to take on a whole army? Makes no sense. Anyway,
so you're kind of saying it's a bit paper thin, then, is what you're saying.
The script is awful. I don't understand all this stuff on the radio. Like, this is the best Bond ever. The critics are loving it. And it's like, no. The critics can't love this, otherwise they don't know what movies are all about. They don't even know what a good script is about if they're loving this stuff. And as I said, people are too busy looking at the fireworks. That's what they're doing.
Well, as I said, when I left the cinema, I was just like, obviously processing what had gone on and broken.
So was I. I got out the cinema, I was thinking, that's it then. None of our heroes are safe. The things that I grew up with, like Indiana Jones, James Bond, they're all going to die and get killed or turn into a woman.
Become
or
women.
Do you know what
I
mean? Yeah, exactly. So what's the point of actually, going to the cinema and watching this stuff anymore? There's no point now if that's going to happen.
I will say on 15 minutes that the producers of the latest Bond film, how much money are you going to lose with people like Ian and myself not going to see it 2 or 3 times.
But it's not us, is it? It's the normies that go to see it. You know, like my mum went to see it, and as I said in another stream, I said, "So what do you think, Mum?" She goes, "Oh, the chairs were really nice." And that was her review. Usually, when we come out, because I've been because we were in the Selfridges cinema, because Selfridges has this cinema now, so we went in there. Yeah, and the chairs are freaking awesome, but every time, I mean, when my dad was alive, we used to go as a family to go and see Bond movies. And the last 3 Bond films, I took my mum to see. And my mum always come out the cinema smiling, always thought, "Oh, that was really good. I want to see that again." She'd always say, she loves action films. But with this one, she just came out and she was like, it was all right. You know what I mean? It was like nothing there. So anyway, whatever.
If I may, I would just like to say hello and welcome to Captain James T. Skywalker and Citizen 333 and Z3PO.
Excellent.
I was going to say, I've flashed this previously. Z3PO, no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to use correct pronouns.
It's just getting worse, isn't it? It really is. It's getting worse.
They, them. Yeah.
And then 333 says it's like TLJ. It has the biggest opening week to second week drop in cinema history.
I was just going to say, TLJ, you both Ians here now. What your reaction when you said you walked out of the cinema? That was like, hang on a minute, this was broken. At the end of Star Wars. What the hell?
It was, and this is what's happening now. I mean, it really puzzles me how people don't see it, and then when you do talk to someone about it, that's a complete normie. They go, well, if you think it's important, it's like, well, of course it's important. You know what I mean? That you're going to have kids grow up and watch Bond die. Yeah, you know what I mean, when I was a kid, I used to love Bond.
I think. Before Star Trek, before Star Wars, for me, I think it was James Bond.
Yeah, it was. It was always Bond, wasn't it?
And I'm 53, so I've been invested in Bond a long time.
I think a lot of people have.
And I was just basically told at the end, the last 10 minutes of that film, you are not allowed to have heroes. Fuck off. And that was it.
Exactly.
And that's 50 years of investment and 50 years of pleasure, of joy, of hero worship, effectively, just thrown down the shitter.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get frustrated about it and we try and find a place to vent our misgivings, we go online and sort of find other people to talk about. We go on social media and broadcast our opinions and stuff, which is natural. Yeah, we just get told, we get shouted down, and then and then just get chastised and say, "What are you moaning for? What are you crying for? It's just a film." And the way they don't understand when they say that is the fact that when, say, Star Wars, for instance, James Bond was around at exactly the same time. In 77 and 78, when that film was originally released, the world was kind of a bit of a dark place, almost like it is now. It was post-Vietnam. There was recession going on. There were job losses. It was pretty damn bleak. All films in cinemas were bleak at that time as well. They were very serious, very adult.
Yeah, they were.
There weren't very many family films out there. And the cinema experience generally was polarizing for a lot of people. It wasn't a unifying thing. It wasn't a group entertainment type thing, and Star Wars came out and it kind of blew everything away, and it was like this exuberant breath of fresh air for the entertainment industry, and it launched a new Hollywood, or a new entertainment industry afterwards came out of that release of Star Wars. And ever since then, entertainment and films themselves have been a completely new planet. It's been a new thing. It's been a new way of spending money, spending your time, and a way of directing your passion. And it's been that way for over 40 plus years. This is why we've been pouring our enthusiasm into things that get us through the day, that get us through the shit times, that make us want to live, that give us things to look forward to. And to ruin them and trash them so unceremoniously like this, like Bond as well, They don't understand that it's taking away that basic, simple joy that has been everybody's right since the dawn of time and the dawn of Hollywood. And they want everything narcissistic. They want to destroy everything. They want everyone that enjoys this sort of stuff to be miserable now. They want to take away everyone's fun. And that's what we're seeing with this. And Bond's just another example. He's another casualty of this. And
It's true.
Yeah.
You know what? I went to see a
about
film
what's
with
next.
my nieces yesterday. My niece, she loves musicals and she loves stage stuff, so she wanted me to take her to see a film called Dare Evan something. I can't remember what it was called, and it was a musical. So I went. It was yesterday night, and me and my two nieces went to see this film, right? And basically, what it's about this kid in high school who basically is lonely, right, and doesn't know how to connect with people. Then he breaks his arm. And this one kid in school who basically is the same as him, but he's really mean, writes on his cast, okay, Connor, and he kills himself. And then everybody thinks that this main guy was friends with Connor, and he lies just to get people to know him and stuff. And it becomes this, do you know what I mean? But the point I'm trying to make is, in the film, almost every kid was suffering from depression. Right, so there's this girl in it, right, a black girl who's basically one of the cheerleaders, and everybody likes her. And she's talking to him, and she goes, "Yeah, what kind of medication do you take?" And he's surprised that she's suffering from the same thing as him as well. And I said to Didi, who's my niece, I said, that whole film was about depression. It was about kids. Does every kid suffer from depression now? And she was like, more or less. I'm like, what the hell is going on? How kids cannot cope with not having friends. Do you know what I mean? I need subscription pills to get through the day. What is this all about? Why are we watching films like this? You know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
It's even worse for you, Mega. I mean, as with your writing background, just seeing this second-rate or just terrible hack writing that has taken over in the mainstream.
Yeah.
Sam in the chat. Hello, Sam. Sam says there's no room for hope in the SJW worldview. Only struggle and suffering.
Yeah.
Pretty true. Yeah.
I think, if we can't have it, you can't have it. So you're going to struggle. We're going to make you miserable.
These people see people on social media and they see them smiling in their photographs, and all they've got inside them is hate for these people because they're happy. These are the kind of people we're talking about here that are making this stuff.
Have you ever tried explaining what's happening in the world to an older parent? I was trying to explain to my mum what was going on. God. She could not grasp it. She could not grasp the fact that there are they and them, and and I was trying to explain to her, that there's these people that don't consider themselves male or female, and my mum was going, but they're born male or female, so why don't they consider? And that's trying to explain, and even I don't understand it now. I'm just totally confused. But this is how far this thing has gotten, and I wish it would stop. To you the truth.
Just to quickly go back on the James Bond, I think Mr. Craig was obviously complicit in what's gone on.
Yeah, he produced it. He wanted it.
Poor scripts aside, I could have lived with, obviously the island going up, credits rolling up, and then a quick little end scene where you see his hand move in the wreckage, and then it says James Bond will return. I could have lived with that, knowing that it would have been a kind of a rebooted Bond. Different character, maybe a different time era, who knows? But with what they did to him, I don't feel like I'm going to reinvest in when it comes along again.
Well, if Henry Cavill's playing Bond, I'll definitely want to see how that would go, because I think he's the right person to play Bond right now.
But now we're kind of going into alternative timeline shit now.
No, it will just carry on and just be a different Bond, I guess, because they said they wanted to finish the Daniel Craig era, but as far as I was concerned, you didn't really. There's a rumor that
they certainly finished it.
Yeah, they did. There was a rumor that who's the original guy that was meant to direct this? He directed Trainspotting.
Danny Boyle.
Danny Boyle walked from the project because because they said Bond dies, and he was like, "You can't
No.
kill Bond."
Can't do it.
That's the rumor. I don't know if it's true though.
I believe it.
Yeah. As I said, final cutscene, Bond's hand moving in the wreckage, and leave it at that. Perfect. But no.
Yeah, well.
Right then, guys. Okay, so that was a serious first 25 minutes. Okay, so we will do the main event, as it were. The next 4 reveals on Star Wars Shill Wars 2021. Ruin Johnson sends his regards, but he's got family stuff going on, so he has given us the privilege of revealing the next 4 names. So my computer withstanding, it finally took me nearly a year to figure out how to display a picture without the title bar. Can you believe it? So just bear with me.
Woohoo!
So no doubt I'll fuck it up, so bear with me. So
Oh,
Wow, he's looking old.
here we go. So, right. So first up is Freddie Prince Jr. Matthew, do you want to
Oh my God!
say a line?
I've got to get my. Hold on a second. Yeah, right. Okay.
Well,
Then.
Are you ready?
So, yeah. Sorry. Go on.
I will just say then, we've got a quote from, I asked Ruin to give us just basically a line for each of the contenders. And he says, Freddie, is it Prince?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, pretentious.
Just say Prince. It's easier.
I know. Freddie Prince Jr. called Star Wars fans toxic and said, "You're just mad the franchise isn't aging with you."
Well, he's talking shit, isn't he?
Yeah,
He doesn't know
Such
what
an
he's talking
asshole.
about.
indeed. So, Matthew, you ready?
Yeah, old bro dog Freddie Prinze
Bro.
Jr. PP. Famous quote of his: "Star Wars is for effing kids, yo," because that's the only target audience, right? And Nerdist, the website themselves, quoted him from his rant that he did on someone's podcast. As he
Well
said,
done, Brian.
he said, because Filoni learned everything from George Lucas himself, referring to Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Because he was working on, he was the voice actor on Rebels, so Dave Filoni was running Rebels. So we'll go out on a limb and call Freddie Prinze Jr. a certified Star Wars expert. Clearly, he gets Star Wars better than most, right? So that's Nerdist. So you know how to unsubscribe from Nerdist, right?
Yeah.
And because he's been cast in something with the Star Wars label on it, he now thinks he's a guru and has every
jeez.
right
We all do.
has every right to rant online at fans while misrepresenting Lucas's philosophy. Right, and this is his quote, or one of his quotes at the time, which I thought was really amusing. "Luke Skywalker is Cinderella or Sleeping Beauty. He could talk to things that don't speak English, and he understands what they're saying. He says a fairy godmother instead of a fairy godmother. Who teaches him how to be the best Jedi in the world in no fucking time flat." Sorry, I bleeped over my own swear before.
You got the beep wrong.
I will say I love the effort. Continue.
That's how offensive I found
Hold on,
his
mate.
swearing is that he couldn't, like, not even a self-censoring button could silence him. He said the F word so many damn times.
Wow.
And also his famous quote, which he must have said about 5 times during that interview, was I won't say the word, but effing kids. And those two words just never go together for me.
Yeah, it sounds wrong.
He should keep playing Freddy. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
It wasn't even well cast in that.
No, he wasn't. It's only because his girlfriend was in it. She had all the power. That's why he ended up in it.
Yeah.
I thought he was in his 50s. He's only in his mid-40s.
He
looks older than me.
He does look a bit scrawny, doesn't he? And he doesn't
He
look.
looks awful.
Well, I mean, it's all right, I guess. I don't know, but what he's saying is absolute bollocks. And you know what? Why listen to this man? Why even pay any attention to this man? In fact, why are we even talking about this man?
Yeah,
Indeed.
I don't know when he went or how he got on his high horse, but I did hear something about this. Like, he played a role for like 2 seconds and he was like, I know everything. And I'm like the biggest Star Wars fan and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, first of all, you can go fuck yourself. And secondly, you don't know anything if you think that Filoni and Lucas are in the same league together. Lucas wanted to kill off Ahsoka in Order 66. Filoni fought to not have that happen. And this is why we have the shit that we have today. I don't care for the Mandalorian. Not secretive about that. You guys know I'm 100% like real about it. Didn't like the way they ended the Clone Wars. It was trash. I don't consider those Star Wars. That's just me. But he's a piece of crap, and he can just like go to hell. And I want to say hi to Sandra. By the way.
Do you know what though? What's missing here is compassion and respect for the fans and for the material. That's what's missing from here. Yes, everybody's got a different opinion, and Freddie Prince Jr. He can say whatever he wants, and God bless him and all that stuff. But still, though, they're still hiring the wrong people to make our stuff that we're really into. They've hired the wrong people to bring back Star Wars. They're hiring the wrong people to actually continue Star Wars. It takes a really good director, a really good writer that knows the art of script writing to bring this back to where it should be. Look, for instance, when they brought back Star Trek to the movies, they hired people that were really good at their craft, not necessarily fans of Star Trek, but really good at their craft, and they brought back Star Trek really well. That's what they need to do here, but they're not going to do it, though, are they?
Indeed. So, shall we move on to the next person? Just let me switch applications.
Who be that then?
Do it.
Who be that? Who's this?
Which one's it going to be? Oh, blimey.
John Campier, one of Robert Meyer Burnett's pals.
Well, who is he, though?
Why is he in that outfit?
I never heard of him.
He does kind of a famous YouTube show.
Does he?
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite big. They're all clambering to get on it.
Gosh, people should just get a
Campier
life,
show.
man. Just seriously. Just get a life.
The quote that Ruin provided, Campier called Star Wars fans critical of the Rian Johnson film, cousin humping, basement dwelling losers.
So why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you even incense the fans?
Because
why would you do that?
Bad entertainment? You humped your cousin?
Do you know what, right? If you met a mother and she had an ugly child, would you tell that mother she's got an ugly child? You wouldn't, would you? It's the same thing with fans. If fans disagree with stuff and you're in a position where you're part of that, the Star Wars organization that made that thing that fans are into, why would you say that? Why would you say that? It's the thing that you should never say. Do you know what I mean? In public,
clicks?
ever.
I don't know. For the viewers, I don't know.
It's just rude.
It is awful. Yeah, it's awful. Not Brian Young, knobhead level 7.6 out of 10. And then, good to see you.
Where's the bacon, man?
Oh, we've had that. You missed that.
I missed it.
7.7 says Campier is.
How many bacons out of 10 does Campier get on?
He's one of, as I said, he's one of Robert Meyer Burnett's pals, isn't he?
So Canadian bacon, not real bacon. Yeah.
Swappers, have you got anything to say about him?
His Twitter quote in 2017, right? This was straight after The Last Jedi. He said, so many moments in The Last Jedi people are going to lose their minds over. Couple nearly made me pee myself. Not a fan of all the film's history or the BDL's character, or for the most part, loved everything else. The fans are going to be very happy, which obviously they weren't afterwards.
I like your Campier voice.
He then went online to chastise and abuse everybody that had a different opinion to him, I remember. And then as soon as his shill privileges were revoked after Disney's terrible episode 9, then he realized they no longer needed him. He changed his tune. And in 2019, he said, There are a few. This is about the Rise of Skywalker, right? He said there are a few big moments in the Rise of Skywalker, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to love this movie. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them. Hopefully, I'll like it a little bit more after I see it again tomorrow. So he probably went back and paid to watch it because they probably only gave him one ticket to go and see it. But his greatest quote after everyone that criticized The Last Jedi was his way of dealing with them en masse was, like you said, Brown. He just called them, what was it?
Cousin humping, basement dwelling losers.
Fuck wit, cousin humping, basement dwelling losers. That's just for criticizing The Last Jedi. So God knows what he's saying for criticizing everything else. But man, I'll tell you what, the guy is a shill of the highest order, or at least he was when he was on the payroll. I don't know about now.
Not Brian Young says Campier had a moment, then deleted the tweet shortly afterwards. He did, but Cockney Spock is still. I think Cockney Spock has got a sound clip of something he did on YouTube as well, which was naughty. But there you go. Shall we move on then? I think we should. So I will switch applications.
Do you think he was secretly a Raylo, and that's why he didn't like Rise of Skywalker? Just want to post that question.
like Adam Lance Garcia or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What the hell?
Hello, Greedo. So I'll just give us the quote. Hello, Greedo. Put the Rey and Rose Tico characters in his top 5 Star Wars characters list.
What?
Above
Jesus Christ.
Luke, Han, and Obi-Wan. So Rey and Rose Tico, top 5 Star Wars characters of all time.
Oh my God.
He doesn't even reveal himself because he always wears the helmet as well. He's never revealed himself.
Yeah, I've never heard of this guy.
I think we'll just keep it at that then. Swappers.
I remember in 2017, this guy. It was shocking. He was all over Twitter. I just kept seeing the yellow background with his Stormtrooper helmet everywhere. And I just knew whatever I was going to read was going to be laughable at best. And I'm glad he's on this list, to be honest with you. Yeah, knobhead level 8.3. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then in the chat goes 9.
That's high. That's very high.
Yeah. Who's this fella then?
The guy's called Hello Greedo, but he never ever reveals himself.
I don't blame him. If he's going to say rubbish like that, isn't it? Don't blame him, you know.
I only found out about him after The Last Jedi, and I was looking for people online to sort of see what their opinions were, and that's how I came across him. Turns out he's one of these self-titled Star Wars experts that preach to the fandom about their knowledge and what Star Wars is.
Oh well.
Mega Geek, would you say Rey and Rose Tico are top 5 Star Wars characters then?
They are definitely not.
Like bottom of
why who would say that?
This guy.
Oh,
this guy said Rey and Rose Tico are in the top 5 Star Wars characters above Luke, Han, and Obi-Wan.
Well, he's an idiot, isn't he?
Like, what really actual Star Wars fan, real Star Wars fan, would actually consider either of those the top 2 rather than bottom? Just saying.
The slug from the human waste from the disposal unit in the Death Star is a higher level than Raylo.
Mm-hmm. If he believes that, then he believes that. But the thing is that the fact is that if you talk to anyone about Star Wars, the first person they're going to mention, I'm assuming now, is Han Solo. Then maybe Luke. Then Leia.
Yeah.
Well, not to this guy.
Darth Vader.
You know? Darth Vader is always going to be number 1 to me.
No, I actually think that I think the majority of people, when Star Wars first came out, loved Han Solo more so than Darth.
Oh yeah.
When I first saw it, all my friends at school were just Han Solo fans, and they knew all his lines. In the playground, there were kids quoting his lines and stuff like that. Darth Vader, we liked Darth Vader, but Han Solo was the man. Yeah. They turned him into an idiot in the last one, didn't they? So anyway.
I mean, the real top 5 Star Wars characters to me are interchangeable. Like, I wouldn't argue with any of you, no matter what your top 5 were, as long as there was Luke, Han, Leia, Vader, Obi-Wan, or 6 Yoda, 7 Lando. Any of those you put in your make number 1, I wouldn't argue with you.
Yep. But in those days, men were men, right? And and the thing is that Han Solo was the man that made you laugh in Star Wars, and also he was one of the bravest guys, and also he was a rogue, and he saved the day towards the ending as well. And
you're all clear, kid.
Exactly. You come out of the cinema and you want to be Han Solo, and that's the thing. And I think Han Solo was so when the first Star Wars film came out. I guess you guys are too young to experience that, but I experienced that. I'm guessing that Mr. Brown did as well. When you were at school, everybody was talking about Han Solo because he was so cool. He really was. And then throughout the years, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, stuff like that.
Yeah. Not Brian Young in the chat. Elo Greedo has got 226,000 subscribers.
That's probably the entirety
disgusting.
of Last Jedi fans, I think.
God, of a lot of mindless people out there.
That's all right. I mean, a lot of people subscribe to a lot of channels for no apparent reason. So
like this channel.
No, but it's true. It's true, don't they? Like,
true.
I give you an example, right? I know someone that has 4K subscribers to his channel, yet only 13 people watch his content. So what does that say? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. From this is a mouthful, is this? From RPG Beats RL. Welcome. Ford let Kennedy destroy Han and Indy. She's as bad as Stewart. Yeah.
Yeah, so is
Harrison
Ford.
He's
Harrison Ford is complicit in all this, isn't he? Yeah.
Says everyone at school wanted to be Han Solo. Wanted to be Han Solo, not Luke, apart from one kid who liked kissing his sister.
That's funny.
Very good.
Oh my god.
333 in the chat. I only subscribe to channels that I like.
Same here.
I would like to think that he's subscribed to this channel. Okay, so
I believe so.
Shall we move on to the last one then, and then we'll dispense with all this tomfoolery. Just bear with me. Let me switch applications, press some buttons, blah blah blah. Switch back. Here we go. So the last one is Christian Harloff, a Collider host who went on an. Sorry, I'll start again. A Collider host who went on an on-air rant about not getting recognition for busting his ass off being a Star Wars fan for 5 years.
What?
Wait, how do you?
What do you need recognition for?
Being a Star Wars fan.
Matthew, have you got anything to add other than
it was in 2017 as well. I first came across Collider and these guys, and I couldn't work out which ones were the twats and which ones were the decent people. Turns out they're all twats. But the quotes that this guy made over the last couple of years have been gold as far as piss taking go. I mean, he reached peak entitlement over the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge scenario in 2019 when he publicly said that he's been busting his ass, like he said. Being a Star Wars fan for 5 years, because 5 years is a big milestone, isn't it? Being a Star Wars fan,
a long time, 5 years.
And he didn't get his expected backhander from the Kennedy film kitty in the form of free Galaxy's Edge tickets. So he thinks that blind loyalty and shameless promotion are what qualifies you to be a Star Wars fan, which is what you need from a shill. I think that really, I think that's prerequisite.
It just boils down to cash.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's all it is, just cash.
In 2018, June 2018, on Twitter, he had a great little tirade, and he said, "Hey, face, a shill is someone who doesn't criticize something or has never had a negative word to say. Check the definition, you dumb it."
Is he American, by the way?
Most of them are, I think. Yeah,
yeah.
I think he's pretty high qualifier for the old Shill Wars. I don't know what he's done lately because I've kind of I do not follow anyone from Collider or any of those, individuals that were involved with any of that.
45.
But I'm just expecting him to come on social media at any time and just spout some crap about Star Wars and how he's a great fan of it and everyone else is wrong because he's right, and therefore please give me some new stuff, Disney. I love you, etc.
Oh my God.
Ka-ching,
So
ka-ching,
like
ka-ching.
some of us have been we're lifelong fans, and that compares to 5 years. How that makes you a really huge fan? Nobody gives a shit.
Rennie,
You were shilling for what?
Rennie, I was going to say, would you like to go in exactly what you're saying now? Would you like to read Sandra's chat?
Yes. So Sandra Feliciano, like
Hail.
an amazing person in the chat, says, I was a Star Wars fan since it was first in the theater. Who does that little twerp think he is?
Right.
And it's exactly true. It's like, oh, I'm like sitting here shilling for Disney and Disney isn't giving me free shit. Well, that doesn't make you a Star Wars fan, Holmes. Just saying, like, seriously, if the only reason you were sitting there saying you were a fan is because you wanted free stuff, then you aren't really a fan. And you can't tell me you were a fan for 5 years and be like, oh my God, I didn't like receive all the recognition I should have gotten. No, you were just wanting free stuff. Yeah.
In the chat, RPG Beats RL, his star has faded 4 out of 10. Brutal.
This little weasel didn't grow up, didn't collect action figures, because obviously if he's only been a fan for 5 years, he didn't grow up like we did, didn't have the action figures, didn't get excited when the new action figures would come out, didn't have the lunchbox, didn't have
all
the
tickets
Star Wars
to Galaxy's
Underoos.
It's true, right? Because when we were growing up, there was no such thing as social media, and you had to make the effort to actually go and see people, talk to people, laugh with people, share your toys with people, watch films together and stuff like that. No, I hate to sound old because I am old, but that's not the point. The point is, right, is that I am making a point here that is valid. And the valid point is that people, even these days, when I try to talk to someone on the phone, they want to text me. And I keep saying to them, phone me. And they keep saying, and they keep texting me. I'm like, this is a phone. Why are you texting me? We need to have this conversation. If people don't want to pick up the phone and talk anymore, and it's gotten worse. People don't want to meet you anymore. They want to talk to you on bloody your computer or FaceTime, whatever. It's getting worse.
They're keyboard warriors. They sit there and type all this BS and like, they attack you. But when it comes to confrontation, it's like, please don't beat my ass. It's like, you know what? How about you have a conversation as a real person instead of just hiding behind your computer and trolling people?
It's true. It really is true. As I said, when I first saw Star Wars, it was a communal thing. You're in the playground, you're having a laugh, you're talking about Star Wars, you're talking about Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and everything, and you're together. You're physically with that person. And it's a communal thing. And it's a wonderful thing. But now, today, kids are always on their phone, or yet this guy complaining that he hasn't got recognition for liking Star Wars for so long. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. He even looks arrogant there for some reason, doesn't he?
Yeah, I was looking for the most arrogant picture I could get.
Well, and those people from Collider suck anyways, so they're all full of themselves.
In the chat, says Ian does sound a bit old.
Oh,
that's because I am.
And then to make Ian feel better, Matt G comes in with the
bacon.
Stole my line.
I think Swap Shop can have some bacon though. It's going to hurt his stomach.
And then 333, well said, Rennie. And then Edge of Time. I won't read it out, but we all can just take that in a moment.
Oh dear.
So there you go. So I will just say that's the next 4 of the shills. There are another 4 to go, and I think Ruin is going to unleash the last 4 names this week on Twitter. So look out for that. So shall we move on from the Star Wars shills then? So let me just press some buttons. Okay, so I just thought I would quickly mention this. Dune was released this week. Ian, I take it you've not seen it yet?
Nah, I don't want to see it. Not interested. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah, not interested.
I was just going to say, I went to see it this week on a very, very big screen, and I would just say it didn't disappoint.
I heard it was really good, but I have not seen it personally.
Yeah, I've not even read the books, and all I can say is it didn't disappoint, and it looked and sounded amazing. It's just a shame it's only part 1. So
apparently we are now getting part 2, though.
Oh, has it been announced?
Yes, they are officially doing it.
Oh,
Okay.
Based on what though? Did it make a lot of money?
I think that, it was just success, just numbers. Yeah, they said that's
Well,
enough.
that's good reason.
That's enough
That's a good
success.
reason
We'll,
then,
we'll,
isn't
put,
it?
we'll
Yeah.
put the second one into production. Well, I think they already started on it because the production's kind of back to back, not the shooting, but production.
oh right,
So
okay.
they just carried on with it, if you know what I mean. They didn't just cut off. They
Right.
carried.
All I can say is it sounded amazing.
Well, that's good then.
And
At least that's one
Zendaya
film
wasn't
in the
all
cinema.
that much.
At least that's one film in the cinema that
Yeah.
that people could go and see. And I'm not really
Um,
interested in it though.
yeah.
I remember watching a Lynch version, and I almost fell asleep halfway through that one.
Totally different.
That was coined to be a very adult sci-fi film. They wanted to make Star Wars, but for adults. They said it was the quote at the time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they kind of needed the support from kids as well to appreciate it. And I just don't think it did very well because of it. Because there were a lot of sort of highbrow people going to watch it as far as sci-fi films go, but they didn't have anywhere near the success they needed for it. And I remember seeing it thinking like, this is weird. I kind of like it in a way, but it's just weird. And I couldn't get my head around it and stuff. And I just thought it's too adult for me. Sadly, I think that's what a lot of people did. They just thought it was kind of not for them. And I think that's probably why a lot of people won't see this one, because they remember the original and just think, just bad memories of it generally.
Sat 2 chairs away from me were 2 ladies, probably late 30s, maybe one early 40s. Basically, they said they loved the books, and they were coming to watch the film because they loved the books. And I was quite surprised how many ladies were watching the film. For a preview showing as well, there was quite a few in. So, yeah. All I can say is I don't even think you really need to be into sci-fi to appreciate it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm glad to hear there's going to be a part 2. Because I left the theatre thinking I cannot wait for part 2. Whereas James Bond, totally different.
Wanted to take a power gel to the temple and wash it out, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will say to everybody, Mr. Brown recommends Dune. It's do whatever you want to call it. It's 2 hours, 40 minutes of well invested time. So yeah.
I think it's on HBO Max, right?
It is.
It is.
I've got a download of it.
Max.
I've got a download of it ready to go, a HD download. But I'm going to go and see it in the cinema first, and then I'm going to watch it.
I think I'm going to go see it again at the cinema on Monday, I think. So that'll be twice for me. I think I'm going to go see it again.
That's high praise. Like just anyone saying that's just high praise automatically.
Yeah.
The only bad thing I've heard of anyone saying about this film is the soundtrack's not that great. But I think most people
I'll disagree. All of it is really good.
See, I keep hearing back and forth. So I have friends that some are saying it was really good, some are saying it was kind of blah. And it just depends on who you talk to, because I'm like, well, with Hans Zimmer, it can't be that bad, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, he's pretty good.
Hans Zimmer is a terrible composer.
What?
Absolutely awful. He
Did James
really
Bond as well.
It sounded awful. You didn't even hear the James Bond theme
Like,
as much, and when he did it, it's terrible. He's a terrible
Inception,
composer.
The Batman, Christian Bale Batman movies.
Yeah, but he had help,
scores.
didn't he, doing that, didn't he? He had other people was working
Johnny
on
Marr.
that too. Yeah, so
Maybe.
So I don't rate him at all for some reason. John Williams, Jerry Goldsmith, John Barry, even the new guy that did the Star Trek movies, the JJ one, he's brilliant. He did Up.
Yeah, Michael
Demeanor, whatever his name is. Yeah. He's really great. And David Arnold, he's fantastic as well. His James Bond music was absolutely spot on. And they got rid of him for Thomas Newton, which was he's absolute rubbish as well. But I don't rate him at all. Sorry, I'll stop now. I'm just voicing my opinion.
Which is what the show is about. So we will move on. So I will just say to everybody, Dune, I thoroughly recommend it, and I'm going to go watch it again. So there you go.
That's appreciated on the big screen, I think, isn't it?
It is. I probably would imagine on IMAX it looks incredible. So okay, so I will press some buttons. Bear with me.
I want to see Empire Strikes Back in IMAX. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
That would be good. Okay, so we'll just do a little bit of this week's news. Not too much.
Mel Gibson. Wow.
Yeah, so I kind of picked up on this midweek, and I'm a fan of the John Wick films. And apparently the news is Mel Gibson to star in a John Wick spin-off, The Continental. It's going to be a 3-night special TV event produced by Stars for Lionsgate. And it's just going to explore the origin for the Hotel for Assassins, it says here, which increasingly became the centerpiece of the John Wick universe. They're going to do it through the eyes of the Ian McShane character.
Oh, the Winston character, yeah.
They don't know, no news on if Ian McShane's going to appear. Gibson will play a character called Cormac.
Excellent. I like Mel Gibson, even though he went off the rails a bit.
Until I heard about this. Now I'm going to give it a shot.
I'm a little
I do like him.
He's kind of crazy. So
yes,
yeah, he is right. But the thing is, he's gotten back to normal now. So I mean, he's as I said, you can't take away his achievements. He's a brilliant director. He's a good actor. Obviously he went off the rails a bit. Everybody does from time to time. So. I mean, look at Hugh Grant. I mean, he slept with a prostitute, yet nobody brings that up anymore, do they?
No.
That was my sister, that Divine Brown. That's my sister.
And what a lovely lady she was.
She was very flexible.
Good old Divine. Okay. I'm a very, very big fan of John Wick. And I will be very, very interested to see how this turns out. And I am a fan of Mel Gibson. And you're right, he did go a bit off the rails.
He did, but everybody does, don't they? So,
but there's certain things about... Sorry, Ian. There's certain things about Mel Gibson which I truly respect. And I think Matthew will know where I'm coming from with that as well. So, yeah. Obviously, he's not going to be doing Lethal Weapon 5 anytime soon.
I hope they do, though. I really do hope. I want to see those characters come back, especially the people that played them originally. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to have a script that actually treats them of the age that they are now, and how they deal with things. So it would be nice, and to make it entertaining as well would be fun.
He had great chemistry with Danny Glover.
He does.
There's something online, and it's from, I don't know if it's 4 or 5 years ago. They were honoring Richard Donner, and it was Glover and it was Gibson. And they were just back and forth on stage together as they were honoring him and having fun with him. And they still have the chemistry. And it's like they just jumped off a Lethal Weapon set. The chemistry is still there between the two.
Me too.
Nice.
333 in the chat. Mel Gibson should direct more films. Perhaps he should direct Lethal Weapon 5.
Yeah.
That would be good, because Mel Gibson's a really good director, and he's a really good. He knows what a good script is as well. If you watch the films that he's actually directed, they're pretty awesome. Tell you the truth, apart from that one we played the Scottish guy, which I didn't like at all. But apart from that, Braveheart. Apart from that, it was okay. It wasn't great, but all the other films he directed was absolutely, spot on. He's a really good director. He's a very talented man.
He is. Jamie van der Horst. Hello, Jamie. Long time no see. Lethal Weapon 5. Now, Riggs is 5 days away from retirement.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
very good, Jamie. Very good. Very good.
But they're both looking pretty, out of it now, both of them. But still, I still think you could, if you focus on their age now, you could do something good. And don't bring in people to take them, to take over, pass the baton and all that rubbish.
Or kill them.
I don't
Or
want to
kill
them. Yeah.
Don't kill them.
Please don't do that.
If they make Lethal Weapon 5, I want to leave the cinema knowing it is the last time I'm going to see them guys.
Yeah.
But I'm going to leave with a smile on my face.
If Mel Gibson can, physically in real life run, throw a punch, lift some weights and stuff at this age, then I don't see why you can't accept him doing stuff that he can do, like run and shoot a gun and and beat somebody up. So you know what I mean. So it should be okay. It's like when Sylvester Stallone was in those Expendable films.
Oh,
I mean, the guy was as fit as anyone, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and I accepted that quickly when he was beating people up.
Speaking of Expendables, I follow Sly on Instagram, and they've just finished shooting the last Expendables.
Oh, they really did shoot it.
Yep.
Yeah, they did.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I hope it's rated R.
Oh, good.
I hope
the
Yes.
other
because the
kiddie
third
ones.
one was a big disappointment.
Yeah,
Well,
the kiddie
they
ones
went
were
with
terrible.
PG-13 because they were convinced by someone that they should try to get a larger audience. But the R movies drew a big enough audience. We didn't need it toned down.
That's right.
Mr. Stallone said on his video on his feed on Instagram that it's the last Expendables that he is doing, but it's going to be passed on to Jason Statham.
Yep.
Statham.
Statham, yeah.
Yeah. So
he's looking a bit old these days as well, isn't he?
Same age as
Jason.
me, Jason.
He's not attractive, but he does have a good body.
Doesn't he go out with that really tall model girl? I can't remember.
from
Rosie
Transformers,
someone.
Rosie.
Yeah.
Rose Huntington Whitley or something.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Right then, guys. So we're agreed. We like Mel Gibson. Looking forward to the John Wick. They should definitely make Lethal Weapon 5 and make it well.
Is that hotel really in New York? That hotel that they use?
PCAT, is it?
I don't know whether I don't know where if they actually shot it there. I'm not sure on that.
And also, I remember being in New York and seeing that building that they use for the Daily Bugle as well. I remember I seen that when I was in New York. I was like, oh, that's the Daily Bugle. That's the building they used for the Daily Bugle. That's cool. So I was just wondering whether that was a real hotel.
And at that moment, I think PCAT went critical mass.
Disappeared.
R.I.P. PCAT. Hopefully you come back.
Boom, he's gone. I think it was seeing not Brian's young face. He's gone.
Poor
I hope
Brian.
he's back. Poor Brian. You went critical mass there, mate.
Yes, I did.
Right. Okay.
Don't
So
worry,
we
it'll
was
be me next.
yeah. So we was going to do not Brian Young recommends, but not Brian is he's not available.
He's not here.
He's not here. Luckily enough, though, we have somebody to step into not Brian Young's shoes, and I'm going to press some buttons, switch some applications, and then a certain person on this panel will say why we should be watching this program.
Yay! Is that me? Do I have to talk about this show?
That is you.
Oh, well, I recommend Squid Game. I mean, what can I say about it? The first 2 episodes is a bit of a slog, and also the fact that I watched the dub version. You can watch the subtitle version, but I can't concentrate when there's writing. I have to read and then look at the pictures. So I watched the dub version. I'm pretty sure that what they're saying in English has a different connotation to the way they're actually expressing themselves in their own language. So you have to put up with that a bit. The first 2 episodes are kind of hard, a bit of a hard slog, but when you get into the 3rd episode, it's well worth your time. In fact, I think after the fourth episode, I just binge watched the rest of it.
Wow.
So seriously, it's worth your time.
What's
really
the synopsis? What's the plot?
So the premise is basically a huge company organization decides to put on these games for these billionaire people around the world. And how they do it is they find people that owe money or in debt and offer them to enter this game to win the prize money, which is hanging above their head in that picture. And last man standing gets all that money, basically, or last woman standing gets all that money. And originally you think the games are just going to be games. And all the games are based on kids' games that they played in the playgrounds when they were kids. And the last game's the Squid Game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
play Han Solo. Poof.
But what they didn't know was that when you play the game, if you don't win or if you don't achieve the objective, you get killed. So that's basically what it's about.
In the chat, Edge of Time. Careful, Edge of Time. Netflix shills detected.
What?
Cheers,
What?
He's saying we're shilling for Netflix.
Well, but the thing is, though, I do recommend this. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it highly. You will not regret watching this. I swear you'll not regret watching it. And if you're not into it, then obviously I made a mistake thinking that you would enjoy it. But I loved it, and I'm pretty sure that you would love it too. So,
Rob in the chat, episode 6, bring tissues.
You should see Brian's response to that message, though.
Depends what tissues are used for.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Brian Young. Yeah, not Brian Young has told me that I have to watch this, so I will be doing that this week.
It is. It's good. It's good. As I say, if you get the chance to watch it, you should watch it. And I swear, after the third episode, fourth episode, you want to binge watch it. There's no way you're going to watch one episode and go, "All right, I'm going to bed now." When you watch that episode, you're like, "What's going to happen next?" And you allow it, and you just get it to play, and it plays. So,
in the chat says. It's not often that Mega Geek is enthusiastic about something new, so I need to give this a look, even though I don't like foreign language stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people said that, but once you start watching it, it's like a Pringles, isn't it? Once you pop, you can't stop. Do you know what I mean? So,
why did they put the plastic lid as well?
Exactly.
Not Brian Young says episode 6 is heartbreaking, terrific writing.
Yes. Yeah.
I wrote a little paragraph about Squid Game. Squid Game is obviously South Korean, I do believe, and woke doesn't exist.
Nope, it certainly doesn't.
It's a concept they're not interested in, or don't understand, or they just no. And
but I'd just like to add, they have 2 strong women in it. Yeah, because they're strong for no reason whatsoever. Because they're strong. That's it. That's their,
Yeah, I wrote down. This is what I wrote down when I was thinking it in my head and typing it down. Mention woke doesn't exist in South Korea or Japan, and think this is purist television, and Hollywood should be worried. Get a few Western actors in, speak English, and forget about Hollywood. Basically, my thinking is these guys are producing the TV that we want to watch, but it's being produced in South Korea. Whereas if this was produced in Hollywood, it'd just be woke all over it. Whereas this, as you said, Ian, it's just totally kind of natural, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, I remember reading something about how Korea doesn't even want American stuff in their country anymore because they've obviously recognized the woke stuff and they believe it's fundamentally wrong for their society. So there you go.
Rob in the chat, the women in Squid Game are just as flawed as the men.
That's right. That's right.
Then not Brian Young says, learn Korean.
Yeah, that's not going to take me long.
Yeah, I think that Hollywood should be worried.
Well, they don't care, do they? Hollywood doesn't
No.
care about
Well,
stuff like
when
that.
the money starts running out, they'll start caring.
Well, it's not going to run out anytime soon,
No,
is
because
it?
you're always going to have the normies.
Yeah.
Like
It's like the
shit
comic industry. You look at the comics. Manga is producing far more popular product than the American companies DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
Well,
I was going to. It's like we didn't do a show last week, and I had all the kind of Superman, his son coming out as bisexual, all those kind of stills ready. And as you've just said, peek at Japan doing all the manga stuff, and it's just like spot on. And we're just getting lectured to all the time with all this fucking bullshit. Superman's son,
It's everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
not to sidetrack off this particular topic, but I watched the new Halloween movie, and they're trying to hit you over the head with messaging and that. It's like, it's a slasher movie. I want to watch a slasher movie, and walk out and be entertained. I don't need to have like subliminal.
Yeah, there was a little bit, yes.
Yeah, I don't need to know about get a talking to about the human condition when I'm watching a Halloween movie.
Yeah, you just want to see if they're going to live or die.
Yeah, and and the
Seriously.
acting and the writing was so bad. I didn't care about any character in the movie.
Apart from Michael Myers, I was rooting for Michael Myers.
Yeah, it's
You're
the
right.
first time in the series I rooted for Michael
Yeah.
Myers.
But that's
Do you know what? William Shatner didn't realize the mask was a mask
Nope.
of his face
No,
he
I
did
think
not.
that's so
until
hilarious.
recently. Yeah.
And now he's honored to be the face of Michael Myers. I think it's funny.
He had a funny tweet that he put out. Somebody's asking him what he's going to do for Halloween. He goes, I'm just going to paint my face white and go to Jennifer's house and scare her.
Classic.
Do it.
right, guys. So shall we move on from Squid Game? So not Brian Young recommends, the Mega Geek recommends. So I think it would be I think we all should. That's our homework. I will just quickly say Z3PO, Superman going to climate change protests when he could just fly to each pole and refreeze the ice cap and doesn't.
Yeah.
Yep.
Never thought of that.
Yeah. He can melt the ice where it doesn't belong, and he can freeze it where it needs to go.
But the thing about Superman is that in the 70s, when Superman was conceived, he was determined not to get involved in the politics of the world, wasn't he? Because
Yeah.
and then suddenly now today, all this stuff's happening with Superman. It's ridiculous. If you had all that power, you would. The best course of action is not to get involved with the governments of the world, isn't it? And just do what you have to do.
I mean, I will say, like, the small, tiny little thing that he did that was political is like he would stand for truth, justice, and the American way. And you can't say that anymore because it's apparently like racist or intolerant to say that.
It's stupid, isn't it? Do you know?
But
I mean, we know what it means. Yeah, but we know what it means. Do you know what I mean? It's just these people are just adding this stuff to these innocent words that was written by the comics and in the movie. Do you know what I mean? It's incredibly stupid as far as I'm concerned. This is the world we live in.
Bring comics into the real world as far as what's happening in the world, because then if you're going to put what's happening politically today anywhere in the world in comics, it doesn't match up, because that in America we had 9/11. Where were all the superheroes when it happened? Where was Superman?
Yeah.
Where was Spider?
Yeah, exactly.
All the New York-based superheroes.
You couldn't
where
have
were
stopped
they?
the plane before it hit the towers.
Or let's say they didn't know what was happening. 3,000 wouldn't have died if they were there flying and using their powers, saving people.
Yeah.
Because
That's why it doesn't
Metropolis was
work.
kind of like New York, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, Superman would have been there.
Yeah.
Well, New York exists in the Marvel world and in the DC world.
Yeah,
so-
you got all the X-Men that live
That's
in
right.
upstate New York. You got Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Daredevil, and I'm missing a bunch of others that are all New York City based.
Yeah.
So they would have been
Xavier's
there.
school is in New York. You would have been able to,
He
have
would
a
have
bunch of
running
mutants
with
that
his
way.
giant brain.
like,
Yeah, that is true.
Phoenix could have saved New York on her own.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Yep.
Same thing with Green Lantern. He could have held that building with his ring
Yeah.
before it fell. You know what I mean? So.
And the movie Superman could have just spun around the world in reverse time and
Yeah.
stopped.
Yep.
fights.
And then
in
like
which film?
yeah.
Right then, guys. So we'll move on from Superman. We will quickly just go through because I've been sitting on this for about 3 weeks now. So continuing the actors who have played. I think we did James Bond. Did we do Superman? I can't remember. So
Yeah, I think we
Not
did.
yet.
and we did Batman as well, didn't
Yeah,
we?
we did.
We did Batman.
Yeah,
So
we did Batman.
We'll
Rennie's
try.
favorite Superman is the new Superman. I forgot.
Shut
the
up,
Thugly
Peacock.
one. So we will try and do actors who have played as a weekly kind of feature instead of all the bad news. And we'll try and keep doing this until I run out of ideas, basically. So, because I'm sure there's only so many characters who have been played by so many people. So, so we're going to do Catwoman. And again, I would just like to thank Metro for all the pictures. It just meant that I could just go to one website and get all some decent pictures. So looking at my list, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As far as I know, 8 actors, women who have played Catwoman. So I think this is Julie Newmar.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who played
Catwoman.
Catwoman first. I'm reading at the same time. I do apologize. In get this 1966.
Oh, I never. You know what? Right? I do like. She's very, very attractive. This woman, but when I was a kid, I didn't gravitate towards her, like I did with the other Catwomen. If you know what I mean. I did like her though. In fact, when they made the movie, she wasn't cast. It was somebody else that played her. Am I right there?
Yeah, Lee Merriweather, because I believe she was contracted to a movie. She didn't realize they were making to do another movie. She didn't realize they were taking the TV series and making it a movie, so she wasn't able to get out of the movie contract to do the Batman movie.
Oh, I see.
We like the Batman movie, don't we? Everybody?
Oh,
yeah.
love the Batman movie.
Oh, yeah.
So funny. So funny. Great film.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So this was obviously the Adam West Batman, wasn't it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And as you said, Peacock, there was 2 people who played the same character. I think
Actually, 3.
Oh yeah, because
Eartha Kitt
Eartha
was
Kitt.
she took over in the 3rd season. Eartha Kitt.
Yeah.
She's the one that rolled her R's, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
Eartha Kitt,
she had
yeah.
my favorite voice as Catwoman.
Really, I found
Yeah.
her creepy.
I love that voice. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think it was Julie Newmar she was in Buck Rogers as well, wasn't she?
Yeah, I
think
think
so.
so.
She was.
Yeah.
Did she play the War Witch?
I've seen her in other films, and I think that she was quite sexy in other films. But in Batman, I just didn't think she was sexy for some reason. Maybe it was the
Really?
costume. Yeah, I don't know
was gonna
why.
say, I think she was always so statuesque and just,
Yeah, I
had
don't know
almost a
why.
perfect hourglass.
I don't know why I didn't find her sexy in that black getup, but I didn't for some reason.
How
She
old
looked
were you
great.
at the time?
I don't know. What was it? Well, I was what is it, 10, 11 when it was on ITV. It was obviously reruns.
Yeah.
I fancied Batgirl, but I didn't fancy her for some reason. I don't know why.
Would you say that the Catwoman from the Adam West was a well written? Was she a good Catwoman?
Which one? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. I thought she was.
Yeah.
She was a lot of fun. There were all the people that starred in the Batman 60s shows was really fun. All of them.
Yeah.
She had a good flirtation with Batman in the
She
episodes.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
Rob in the chat, Catwoman regenerates like a Time Lord.
Yeah, good one.
333 in the chat. Bear with me, the screens are scrolling up. Yeah, StreamYards have altered the screen layout, and yeah, I don't think it's quite working properly. Where are we? 333 says, used to watch the 60s Batman TV show after school.
Yeah.
And then Rob says, I remember Lee Merriweather on the Time Tunnel. She was also young.
They all had that look, didn't they, in the 60s? These leading ladies or co-star ladies, they had that look, and they had that hairstyle that went up, you know, tied at the back, like it was always black hair. They tied up and stuff. They had that 60s hairstyle. So
yes.
Yeah.
She was the former Miss America,
So this one is this Lee Merriweather?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And she was in, but my notes say she was in the, it says here, she was in the Batman movie.
She was?
Yes.
A replacement for Julie Newmar because she had a back injury.
Oh.
Interesting, because I was reading that said that she was contractually obligated for a movie that she couldn't get out of.
Oh, right, okay.
And then the ironic thing was they wound up canceling the movie and they never finished it, so she would have been able to play in the movie, but she did come back for season 2.
She did, yeah. But imagine scratching your back with those gloves, blimey.
Was Lee Merriweather a good Catwoman?
I thought so.
Oh yeah. Former Miss America, she was good, and she had that dual role where she was it Miss Kitka? Was it?
That's it, Miss Kitka. Yeah. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Rob in the chat and Miss America, 1955.
She was, yes. Yep. She was.
And she was on Barnaby Jones.
Yeah. 333.
Barnaby Jones. I remember that show.
Wow.
Yep.
StreamYards is a little tricky at first, but it gets easier over time. Well, it does, but I think they've altered the layout on some of the. See, we've got a new screen. Look.
I am altering.
That's weird. What's the point of this layout?
No idea.
Yeah.
Strip, isn't it? It's a strip.
We all can look up.
I was going to say.
You can see us all at the bottom. Yeah.
We're all bottoms.
At the bottom. Yeah.
I don't mind being underneath Julie Newmar. That's fine.
Well, you're actually underneath the Mega Geek right now, so.
That's not fine.
Sorry. I'll tell you what. I'm going to cock about.
Oh, hello. Rennie, you're under Rennie now. So there you go. The new Catwoman.
But that's okay. You're right under Brown. So.
Uh-oh.
Not a bad place to be. Swappers, were you into the 60s Catwoman?
Not massively.
Or just a bit too young.
Well, yeah, I was probably about 3 or something. 3 or 4, well, probably 2.5, probably. Whenever the Mego toys came out, so that was like my obsession was the toys, and just sort of I wasn't really fully understanding what they were saying on TV at the time. I was just looking at Adam West running around with a crazy outfit on, watching them have these bizarre fights, and occasionally the odd slow scene with them talking to each other, and I just really wanted to see the action. But as an adult, as a teenager, when they started repeating it on ITV, on the Night Network, I started watching it kind of all over again. I kind of just had it on in the background. And when these ladies came back on screen, I was, oh, hello. Straight away, I did appreciate them far more.
It's been a long time since I've watched the 60s Batman.
Oh, I know.
I did like Batgirl, though. I thought she was quite attractive.
Yeah. She was
the girl
gorgeous,
who played Batgirl.
Yeah.
She used to kick people a lot, didn't she?
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah, when you said Batgirl, I thought kick. Yeah, straight away.
Yeah.
This Eartha Kitt played Catwoman in the 3rd series of the 60s Batman.
When they got rid of the twice a week, I believe they cut down to I think once a week at that point.
It was losing ratings, wasn't it, at the time? Yeah. So that's why they brought in Batgirl. They thought the ratings would go up, but it didn't. It didn't go up.
Is this what you would class as diversity?
Well, she was very famous at that moment in time.
She
Eartha
was.
Yeah,
Kitt,
famous
wasn't
singer.
she? Yeah.
Was it Santa Baby was her big song?
Yes,
I
of
think
course.
so. But they didn't hire her for diversity. They just
They
hired her for her
didn't.
acting skills, and nobody thought anything of it.
Oh wow!
Well, it wasn't actor skill. They hired her because she was very famous around about that
Oh,
time,
true.
so they stuck her in there. So, you know,
But they
I
weren't
mean,
like, oh my gosh, we're ticking off boxes here. you
no, they
know?
weren't. They
Yeah.
weren't. Even when I had Sammy Davis Jr. as one of the guest stars that opened the window as they were climbing up,
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
pretty sure they didn't put him in there because he was black. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That was just a
exactly.
great idea, wasn't it, for cameos?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
every week. That would have been so good.
Supposedly those cameos were a big reason why it took so long for the show to come out on Blu-ray
Ah.
because of rights issues.
Okay.
Especially one of the
All right.
episodes that caused that was when Lurch stuck his head out the window. He was in character, and you have to get the right to who owns the rights to the Addams family, and it was a
Are you
whole
serious?
yeah. It's a whole
What I
big
thought
deal.
was really funny is when they did stick their head out the window, you can tell they were just standing.
Yeah.
They weren't tilted themselves, so it looked like
Yeah.
It was a great effect, though, wasn't it? One of the
it
simplest.
was all right.
Yeah.
For its time, it was great. Yeah.
They should have built the set slanting. Then it would have stand more of a chance to stand like they were, you know, in the proper angle. But they didn't. They just built it flat, so they were just standing.
Yeah.
on the thing.
They looked like they were hovering midair, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this was because this was the 60s. This would be pre-black exploitation, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even that at the time.
But she was good. She was good as Catwoman, as I recall.
She was very good. Yeah.
I was reading today, which I didn't know, when they brought Eartha Kitt on, they got rid of the flirtatious moments between Batman and Catwoman at the time.
But we know why.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
know why.
As a kid, I never, that stuff went way over my head, obviously.
Yeah, same with me as well.
Okay, so we will move on from the 60s Batman to about 25 years later, and I will press some buttons. Bear with me.
Hey, now.
Yeah.
I do like Michelle Pfeiffer, but I hated this costume.
Really? I thought it was such a
Yeah.
cool looking costume, but she said
I
it was
didn't.
very fragile.
I really hated this costume. I didn't.
She had to
think-
be sewn into it.
Yeah, I didn't think it made her look sexy at all for some reason.
You don't
I don't
think
know
so?
why.
A lot of guys seem to think that. I thought it was
Well-
cool looking because instead of just it being just a regular cat suit and just being all, perfect and everything, you could tell she actually had to sew it herself and it was in pieces. It wasn't just, I don't know. I thought that's what was cool about it.
I just didn't think. I just think it looked, like bondage girl.
Well, yeah, that's
it did,
kind of true.
And
Kinda true.
I
It's
wasn't
very,
really into that.
It's very Tim Burton, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I will quickly just say in the chat, Rob says, I met Adam West at HMV Brighton in the late 80s. I still have my signed VHS release of the Batman movie.
Wow.
Memories.
Wow.
Nice.
Don't sell that one.
Wow.
Mm.
And
That's
I
the
would
bit where
say
she
a lot-
goes, meow, and the whole place blows up behind her.
Yeah. Meow.
Hello, Tim Possible.
Hey, Timmy.
Timmy!
Was Pigcat, was Michelle Pfeiffer a good Catwoman?
I thought she was good, and she and I believe it was Tim Burton that says she gave the best performance that any actor ever gave in any of his movies.
Wow.
Was he
High
sleeping
praise.
with her at the time?
Ian.
I will have to say though, I did like the outfits better on the '60s Catwoman.
I did too. I think it was a mistake to put her in something like this. It really was. In fact, this was the film that broke the Batman franchise, wasn't it, with Warner Brothers? They were angry because they couldn't sell the toys.
Yeah.
Because it was
And
too
stuff like
dark,
that.
but
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought
no, it wasn't
a
because it was
great
too
movie.
dark.
Well,
No, it wasn't-
too scary,
No.
right?
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
the you couldn't sell, a spewing green gunk coming out of his
Penguin.
mouth penguin
Yeah.
to kids, can you really? Let's face
And you
it.
can't
so.
sell like a sexy Catwoman to him either,
Well, a bondage Catwoman to
Yeah.
kids either, so you couldn't do that. So
I can hear the cat in the background.
Yeah, sorry.
RPG beats RL in the chat says, she looks like Scorpius from Farscape. She does
a
actually.
bit, yeah, a bit. Yeah.
Apart from the
But you
skin
know
isn't
what?
quite as grey.
I really liked her though as Selena Kyle. I
Yeah.
thought she was really, really enjoyable. Her performance was real. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer's performance is always good in any film you see her in, anyway.
Yeah.
Apart from Grease 2, of
Scarface.
course.
Scarface.
She's
So-
more than a
But,
cool rider
yeah.
in that, though. Give her a break.
Isn't it true that Tim Burton originally wanted Linda Carter for this movie, but she was too tall? She towered over Michael Keaton, so they got Michelle Pfeiffer.
Don't
Oh,
know.
I
Interesting.
thought I read that somewhere. Double check that, but yeah,
Did you
like
just
it's where
make
he
that up?
originally wanted. No, he originally wanted Linda Carter, and she was too tall, and they had to find somebody shorter than Michael Keaton.
Apparently, the news this week is Linda Carter is going to play a very, very big role in Wonder Woman 3.
Oh, cool.
Also, that mask doesn't hide her face. I mean, how could Batman not know she wasn't Selena Kyle? I mean, look at it. You can just see it's her. It's not like it's disguising her face or anything. You know what I mean? It's like, what?
Same way he didn't know that Miss Kitka was Catwoman.
333 in the chat loved Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman.
It's just that bit where she's on the bed and she's licking herself. It just didn't
I'm sorry.
play
Yeah,
well
that was
with me.
kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm giving myself a bath.
Yeah. So it looks a bit weird, but there you go. But I mean, yeah, I loved the Batman this Batman film. I really liked it. I loved it. Thought it was terrific.
Yeah,
It's a shame it destroyed the
I didn't really
franchise.
like about it. I mean, you see, it's funny you should say they were angry because they couldn't sell merchandise and the toys at the time. I mean, obviously these films have gone on to be like huge, massive selling movies and hugely popular.
Keaton coming back as well.
And also they've spawned so much merchandise ever since, and they're still releasing merchandise based on these movies now.
Yeah.
And so many people want it. So Warner Brothers must be like just kicking themselves, thinking we were idiots, man. What were we thinking?
They have to be.
Yeah.
But do you know what? The photography in this film is amazing. I mean, if you look at it very carefully, the silhouette stuff that he has of the penguin, and the cityscapes and all that, the photography is just really good in this film. The only thing I disagreed with, the only thing that kind of bugs me now when I watch it is how small the sets are. When you watch the film, how it seems enclosed because the sets weren't big enough.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it's a pretty good movie as far as I was concerned.
I think we'll move on from that. So I will press some
She
more
even looks
buttons.
great today, doesn't she, Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah,
She doesn't look bad, to be
does.
fair.
Yep.
Yeah. She's kept herself
I
well
think-
preserved.
I think this one's for you, Matthew.
My favourite one, definitely. Bruce Timm's Catwoman. Yeah, just perfect.
Wow, she's quite
This
big
is
on the top there,
Adrian
isn't she?
It's a bit curvy.
Barbeau.
That's
Bit
Bruce
curvy.
Timm for you. Yeah.
Yeah, Adrian Barbeau.
Batman animated.
Or I should say top heavy, but yeah.
She's top heavy, yeah.
top bollocks.
It's kind of a medium between the Burton movies and the original 60s show, I think.
Yeah.
And the comics.
But now she
Matthew-
has these goggles, don't she?
Yeah.
She doesn't
I love that
look like
approach.
that.
I love that look. Yeah. But this was a bit more of a callback, I think, a bit more retro callback, because it was kind of the style of everything in the show was very retro 50s, 40s style. So they didn't want to go too modern with it, with like motorcycle, accessories and whatever. So they did. I think they did well with it. Her face is obscured well enough, I think, and the suit just, I think, is very, very feminine. Just shows off her curves and makes her look very feline and agile. And Bruce Timm, being who he is, made her extremely feminine and curvy. So I wasn't going to complain.
Well, good for him. Good for you.
Good for you. RPG in the chats, and this is actually true. I think everybody knows this. Warner Brothers are still idiots.
They are these days, yeah.
They're sitting on Superman with Cavill wanting to do Superman, and they don't want to know.
The Rock wants to do a movie with Cavill as Superman. I mean, that alone should tell you, if you're
What
Warner
the
Brothers,
fuck?
let's do it. The Rock is usually box office gold. Usually.
Tim Possible says, "Wowzers, hipster approved." And then RPG, aren't they updating the animated series?
Oh
dear.
dear. Yeah.
Catwoman's going to be a lesbian. Batman's going to kiss a bloke. Yeah. Usual rubbish.
And then number one of my channel and Cockney's channel, Sklavko, seen Dune today. Nice.
Great.
Noise.
Can't wait.
333 says, I thought Danny DeVito as the Penguin could have been toned down a bit, though. He was a bit too gross. I thought what they were going for realism was pretty good, though.
I think he changed his origin slightly. He had him as a disfigured child, and that's why the parents got rid of him. And you know, because obviously they were upper class and they didn't want the stigma, so they changed the origin of him. You know, he had like only 3 fingers and stuff like that. So yeah, he was gross because he lived underground, didn't he, in the sewers? You know, so yeah, I guess he did smell a bit. Yeah.
Right, guys. So shall we move on from the animated then? So
yeah, let's just move her boobs on.
Do it.
Do it.
From one set of boobs to another.
This is my favourite Catwoman.
Really?
I didn't like the film, but I love Halle Berry.
Like
Halle Berry.
I was going to say,
Halle Berry's
so pretty,
gorgeous.
Halle Berry, Catwoman,
absolutely
2004.
awful Catwoman.
No, the film was rubbish.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm sorry, Halle Berry can do no wrong in my eyes. She's so gorgeous. It's
She really is
unbelievable. Yeah.
Right, then,
She won a raspberry. She won a raspberry for it, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Yep.
She turned up and she collected it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the sign of a good person, isn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody who
Good sport.
turns up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when she won the Oscar, isn't it within a year or two? Was it very close when she won the Oscar and the raspberry?
Yes, it was. In
Yes.
fact, she won the Oscar when she was making the James Bond movie. Between making the James Bond movie, so when she got to the set, everybody was cheering her. She was one of the very first black women to win an Oscar. The same year, Denzel Washington won an Oscar as well. So Hollywood was trying to say, "Oh, we're sorry we didn't give any Oscars to black people. Here you go, we'll give you 2." So that year, that's what Hollywood was doing that year. So there you go. But you know, she deserved it for her performance. I think what was it? She won it for?
Oh.
Was it Monster?
Yeah,
No, it
Monster's
wasn't
Ball.
Monster.
Yeah.
Monster's Ball. That's what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she won it for that.
Edge of Time in the chat says, Cavill is a great example of how men can't win the dating game. If Bezos, Pitt, Depp, and Musk can't give a woman, the game is lost.
Can't
Get
keep a woman.
Can't keep a woman.
Keep a woman, yeah.
The game is lost.
Well,
we don't know who they really are.
exactly, and we don't know
Yeah.
the situation either, so it's kind of hard to pass judgment, isn't it? Really, let's face it. So.
Swappers, are you a fan of Catwoman 2004?
I think I've seen a bit of it. I haven't seen all of it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought her outfit was kind of interesting. Definitely not Catwoman. She's not.
Yeah.
She's not even Selena Kyle. I don't think, is she?
No.
No.
It's Halle Berry.
Yeah,
Didn't she have like a whip or something?
Yes.
She did, yeah.
Yes, please.
I don't know what the motivation behind making this film was. It doesn't make any sense.
Money.
I think she got like her powers from drinking milk or some stupid shit like that.
What? Yeah, I couldn't
What?
watch it. I couldn't
It's
make
ridiculous.
myself.
It's so absurd. This film. It's crazy. It's what it's like. It's just it's crazier than the original '60s TV series. It's ridiculous. But if you watch it with the sound off, it's like a great assembly of cutscenes from a really good video game.
You know what though? I don't know who designed that costume, but whose idea was it to design a costume for such a gorgeous looking woman to look like that? It's just ridiculous, absolutely. And that stupid mask, so stupid.
It looks like a Batman mask, but like
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Good point.
Yeah.
that's
Oh, no,
why I
no.
didn't like it.
I think she got her powers from being like nibbled on by cats or something like that. I can't
Sorry.
remember.
No, that's what Michelle Pfeiffer got
It
hers
was,
from.
Sorry.
it was equally ridiculous, whatever it was. I think she I can only drink milk or something. It is crazy, this film. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, she's worth watching though.
Yeah,
She
Halle
is.
Berry all day.
Always watching.
No, I
Halle
did
Berry.
get excited when I heard she was going to play Aurora Monroe, aka Storm, in the X-Men movies. I didn't
yeah.
like the accent they tried to have her have in the first one because she can't fake an accent, but she has the look for Storm.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
I
Yeah.
saw her
David
recently, and she looks gorgeous, even the age that she is now. She still
got
looks
it.
really,
Still got
yeah.
it.
And I don't understand. So every film I've seen her in recently, they've kind of dressed her down. I'm like, is this the future of looking at women on screen now, where they have to dress down? It's just incredibly stupid. Oh, you
Cover
know,
everything up.
yeah, I know. It's just
333 in the chat. Halle Berry is a great actress.
she is.
She
She
is.
is. Yeah.
With the right
I-
director, she
I
definitely is.
cannot
Yeah.
disagree with that.
I don't think
Great
her
in
acting
the
was
last
great
John
in
Wick
James
movie.
Bond, but she looked good in it.
Yeah.
So we're all agreed, stupid film, but it's got something going for it. It's got Halle Berry in it.
Yeah.
So okay, so we'll move on. I will press some buttons.
Halle, don't go.
She's gone.
I did like her.
Anne Hathaway, Dark Knight
Yeah.
Rises.
She was a
I
bit
liked her.
bland. She was a bit bland, but she was okay.
I liked her as Selena Kyle. She did a surprisingly well job, in my opinion. Didn't really think of her as Catwoman so much, but I did like her as Selena Kyle.
Well, she was
and-
never called Catwoman in that
Yeah.
film
Yeah.
at any point.
But you know, they kind of hinted at it because they called her a cat burglar, which I thought it was really cool that they kind of touched on that part of the character because they didn't really do that before.
Was this the
And-
second? This was the second. Sorry, this
No,
was the third, wasn't
third
it?
Yeah,
one,
that
yeah.
Dark Knight
Yeah.
Rises.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought she was okay.
There's little things that were
Matthew?
wrong with this film as well, wasn't there? Let's face it.
Which were?
so-
Oh yeah.
Which were Batman
Lot,
didn't
yeah.
kill. Batman didn't kill the main
Bane.
villain. It was her.
Yeah. It reminded
I
me
was
of
like,
Princess
what?
Leia killing Jabba the Hutt. I hated that as a kid. I always wanted Han Solo to kill Jabba the Hutt.
Really?
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I always liked it, but that's me.
But she did that famous thing where she had her foot hold the guy's arm in one scene. Do you remember that scene where she grabs the guy and instead of holding his hands up with two hands, she had one hand holding, I think it was the left hand holding, and her foot was holding up his other
Oh yeah,
hand.
that was so dumb.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think in loads of films they copied that, didn't they? Especially in one of the Charlie's Angels films, they copied it. But yeah, it had to be flexible to do that, for God's sakes, and she was, I guess.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind her. I didn't mind her at all.
Yeah,
She was okay.
Okay.
She had good chemistry with Christian Bale, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is
well,
Anne Hathaway a good actress?
yeah, she is. I think
Yeah.
so. I actually remember her in that Diaries thing. The first time I saw her went to see it with the kids.
Yeah.
What is it called? Something Diaries?
Princess
The
Diaries.
Princess
Princess
Diaries. Yeah, that
Diaries.
was it. Yeah, I remember seeing her in that a long time ago. And then I remember seeing her in. Was she in that that film with the two guys that were gay and they were cowboys? And what was that one called?
Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain. That was it. I Can't Quit You. Yeah, that one. And
She was in Interstellar as well, wasn't she?
she was. The reason why I bring up I Can't Quit You is because the first time she showed her breasts on screen, wasn't it?
Oh
in
my
that
god, I'm
film?
gonna die if not Brian Young recommends Brokeback Mountain one day.
I can't quit you.
Brian, are you listening?
Oh, I'm gonna die.
Never seen it.
Have you not seen it? It's
No,
a
never
good
seen it.
film. It's a good film. It just makes you squirm as a heterosexual male.
Yeah, that's why
It
I
makes you
haven't
squirm in the seats when you're watching it. But
Oh,
apart
God.
from that, it's a good film. It's a good
Ooh.
film.
Edge of Time in the chat. Stephen Amore reappeared. Stephen Amore is back.
Okay.
He
seen it. Is that
resurrected
really Stephen
himself.
Amore, or is that someone else?
Stephen Amore is back for a few days, boys and girls. So because he's been disappeared, hasn't he? So
Okay.
333 Brokeback Mountain. Never seen it. Yeah.
Just remember, I can't quit you. Yeah. So when you hear that line in the film, you'll remember me.
Is that the film where that line, "Don't you ever leave me again"? You hear? Is that from that as well?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're
God.
right.
The only line I remember though is I can't quit you.
Hey, Orange Hat, how's it going?
Hey, Orange Hat Reviews is here. Awesome.
Yeah,
Hey!
cool.
Please subscribe, Orange Hat
Yes,
Reviews.
do subscribe. You guys are great.
Does some good reviews.
Yes, yeah, I would say some of the new boys and girls in the chat, my numbers have been stagnant. If you could maybe
I reckon it's because of Rennie. They don't like Rennie. That's what it is.
Oh, so mean.
He is, isn't he? If you boys and girls could actually just press the button to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. We do this pretty much every Saturday night, just the end of week geeky thing. So if you could subscribe, that'd be amazing. Let's try and get the numbers going in the right direction instead of just staying on 222.
Let's hit 500.
God, wouldn't it be nice? Okay, so shall we move on from Anne Hathaway?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll press some buttons again.
Oh man, you know what? Right when she started being Catwoman, she looked like that, and then towards the last season, she had put on so much weight. This actress and just looked horrible.
Carmen,
in my opinion,
Condova, and this is Gotham 2014.
Show had potential, it just fizzled.
It did, and it fizzled. Yeah, you're right.
I loved the Penguin early on too in that show.
I did, yeah, and Riddler, both of them are terrific. Those guys. And then it just kind of went rubbish, didn't it?
Yeah, I couldn't finish it. I couldn't finish it.
And what's her name? Lee got married to the guy who played Commissioner Gordon in real life. They both got married, didn't they? Fell in love.
The one
on
she was on. What was that show that was on Showtime? She was on that show, Morena Baccarin or something.
Oh yeah. She married the guy from the OC. Yeah.
Yeah, him. Yeah, he played Commissioner Gordon or Jim Gordon, didn't he? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I take it you guys watched Gotham then?
Yeah, I used to watch it all the time. When it started, I thought it was great, and then it just suddenly just became rubbish.
It fizzled.
And it really did, didn't it? So
I stopped watching. I want to say in the first half of the second season. I don't know. It just fizzled for me.
I got to. I think when Michael Chiklis joined, I didn't.
Gross!
Oh yeah.
It's trash.
What about what's his name? Sean Pertwee. Master Bruce. Every week he'd say that. Right, Master Bruce.
It's so cringe.
It was all right.
Who's your daddy, Bruce?
Matthew, did you see Gotham?
Never watched it. No, I just thought a Batman show without Batman. No, I'm not watching that.
Yeah, I think I watched about the first 3 episodes because I think it was on Channel 5, wasn't it, over here?
The production value was amazing, though. It really did look freaking stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Edge of Time, seen all of Gotham.
Same here. I saw all of it till the end. I was disappointed towards the end. I was like, okay.
How many series?
I think it was 6, 7, maybe.
Oh, damn. That's a lot. I didn't know it went that long.
Yeah. It was very popular.
It fizzled.
It fizzled.
Every time he had the chance to kill the Penguin, never did.
That character started off so well. I loved his backstory, slowly rising up the ranks, and then shame.
And then what's his name? Will Smith's wife disappeared. I think after season 3.
Yeah, she was good in the beginning of it too.
She was, yeah.
And I think she was she an original character for the show?
Yes.
I think she was based in the comics.
Fish Mooney. She wasn't in the comics. Yeah. Fish Mooney. And then she suddenly disappeared, and that was that. Yeah. Maybe she pissed off the producers or something. I don't know.
RPG in the chat. Jada Pinkett Smith can't take her seriously after that music video.
Oh, that's right, Jada Pinkett Smith.
She's a weird person. Like in
didn't
real life.
Will Smith had an affair or something?
They had an open marriage or something like that.
Yeah, open shit. Yeah.
She tweeted or said something on Facebook within the last 6 months to a year, something about if you can't cheat on or if you can't sleep with people other than just your spouse, you're boring or something like that. And it was so dumb. I'm like, why would you be in a committed relationship if you don't want to be in a committed relationship? That's dumb.
Just don't get married.
Yeah. What's the point of an open marriage? I've never understood.
It's really funny, right? Because you can always tell that when stars want attention, their attention's dwindling. And what's his name? Will Smith's always on YouTube spouting some really ridiculous pieces of wisdom, which is just rubbish. Yeah. And you can tell that he wants attention, right? He wants attention. Why does he want attention? He's a huge movie star. He's got a shitload of money. go and live your life now, mate. If you want to relax,
just do
relax.
something else, yeah.
It's obvious we're not going to forget you because you've made your mark in history.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
something
you
else.
could take a break now. You don't have to, try and make us love you. Do you know what I mean?
He had a great
Which
run
we
as the
don't.
number one actor. I mean, for a while he was the biggest box office draw.
He
Now-
was.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
Edge of Time in the chat. Best Riddler next to Frank Gorshin.
Yes. The guy who played the Riddler was
Yeah,
amazing.
he was really good
show.
on the show.
Yeah. And he looked, exactly the way I imagine a modern Riddler to look like. He really did.
Yeah.
as far
Like
as
he
I
had
was
the
concerned.
old-fashioned, like 50s pointy
Yep.
glasses.
Mhm. Yeah.
Is the Riddler's in the new Batman film?
He is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yep.
Which
the
looks a
trailer
bit
for that
weird.
dropped this week.
not
didn't
looking
it?
forward to that.
Dropped like a
Yeah.
big pile of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
I don't know. I just watched the trailer and I thought to myself, okay, it's
I was
another
like,
Batman
oh,
movie.
puke. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Oh,
We'll
look.
see.
Robert Pattinson's wearing black eyeliner. Big freaking surprise. I don't know. Not
Ah, well, never
excited. And Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman. Gag.
You heard
Yeah.
said that she wants to change the male gaze as Catwoman.
What does that mean, by the way, the male gaze? What does it mean? Could someone
Like the
explain
way
that
that
to me?
men look
Eye
at
up
women,
and down.
right?
Eye up
Yeah.
and down.
So hold on. So if a man looks a woman up and down because he thinks they're really attractive,
Mating
That's
partners.
that's
ultimately
not
goes back
allowed
to.
now?
How do you think that these characters became popular from that male gaze growing up?
How do you
So-
expect to be in a relationship?
but that's why I'm asking, are you not allowed to do that now? Is that what they're saying?
Basically. Yeah.
But then,
Which-
but that doesn't make any sense because we're nature's hot wired us
It's-
to like the
Yep.
opposite sex.
Well, these
Yeah.
fucking little idiots behind their smartphones who get taught all this bollocks at school think it's wrong.
Why is
Full of
it
shit.
wrong? If you admire, it's like
It's genetics. It's
It's one thing to
Hundreds of
look
thousands
somebody
of
up and
years.
down. It's another to cop a feel. You know?
Like, it seems I feel like you feel constrained. It's like I can't go.
Oh,
up
Rennie,
because,
you are the
You work
best.
with somebody that looks nice. You can't say, you look nice today.
I mean, if
I'll be
if
pulled
you're
into the HR department.
if you're looking at them, leering at them, of course that's wrong. But
You're
if you
like,
take a
"You look
if you're on the
nice."
tube and you see an attractive woman and you look at them and you think they're attractive, they're saying that's not allowed. That's stupid because we have free will. I could look at a woman if I want to. Do you know what I mean?
well,
I won't
these
leer
people-
at them.
These people are so fucking stupid. They don't take it as a compliment that this woman is a potential mating partner, attractive, blah blah blah. They just see it as a violation. This is how fucking stupid they are. But there you
Yeah.
go.
But how could you
Well,
be
then-
violating someone by actually
Well-
looking at someone?
All I will say is when they're in their mid-40s, alone, no
Not
children,
getting any attention.
and getting no attention, hateful little lives, and they probably even still dye their hair blue. Well, they deserve it. They've asked for it. Reap what you sow. Moving on.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think
okay.
much of this woman, Kravitz.
I will say,
No.
going back to copying a feel, which Patterson did apparently. Zoe Kravitz.
On the Batmobile, apparently.
Yeah. She was in Lego Batman as well.
Yeah,
she?
as Catwoman, I think. I liked
Yes.
Lego Batman though. That was pretty cute.
Wasn't she? in the
But you
X-Men
know
too?
what? Why have they cast this woman as Catwoman?
You
And
know,
you know
the
why
only
they've
reason
cast her.
she's famous, well, for one, yeah, to check the boxes, but the reason she's famous is because her dad's Lenny Kravitz. If her dad wasn't who he was, she would not be in anything. Her acting sucks. She's trash. That's just my personal
Are you
opinion.
gonna go my way? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But she
Is that,
would
a,
have
is that a plant in the
nothing.
background? Is that a plant in the background, or was that her hair?
I think that's a plant in the background.
I hope so.
And you know what? You
Is
see
it
all
plant?
the,
Is
you
it
see all,
Groot?
you see that guy on the left there? He's afraid to look at her. He's afraid to
No, he's
give her
looking
the
at
like,
male
his
gaze.
smartphone.
don't want to come off as
He's
a
on, he's
womanizer.
on
Look
Twitter.
away.
He's on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's probably
Yeah.
part of her agreement that no men can directly look at her
Yeah.
on set or something.
I can feel your
That's
eyes on my
crazy.
ass. Take them off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think somebody told me I can't remember who told me, but they're not allowed to, guide an actress now. If like a director's directing someone and say, right, can you move just to the left? They're not allowed to touch them anymore. They're not allowed to guide them to their marks anymore. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's offensive to touch an arm. It's not like you're moving them by the butt cheeks.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
But it goes both ways, doesn't it? Because the director could be accused of touching her elsewhere, and all it will take is for the actress to open their mouths and lie about it, for whatever reason, and then that director's in trouble. So
yeah, true.
Rennie, do you want to read Sandra's comments?
I sure will. Sandra Feliciano in the chat says, "There is nothing wrong with admiring what God has so fearfully and wonderfully made." Yeah, seriously. Nothing wrong with admiring beauty. Yeah. It's another thing if you get a little bit creepy and start copping a feel where it's not wanted. Okay, so
that's true.
But you can look.
That's true. Edge of Time says, "Cats can I can't even go anywhere near that." Look it up, everybody.
Bloody hell. I can't quit you. Yeah.
Is the new Batman film going to be any good, or are we kind of thinking, nah?
You know what? People will go and see it. People will go and see it.
They will.
Majority of people will like it. But, if you're a connoisseur like me, you'll probably find loads of mistakes in it and criticize it. But hopefully I will like it. Who knows?
I'm not going to waste my money.
You never know.
Are you going to quit cinema? You can't quit cinema.
There's nothing I want to see anymore, man.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Dune. Go see Dune. You won't be disappointed. Right then, guys. Shall we call it a draw at that point?
What's this then? Why have you got this up?
Yeah.
Next week, we will be. Ian, you'll love this. We will be reviewing The Last Jedi on Halloween, and
many stomachs are going to feel like swappers after that.
Ruin Johnson himself, the #1 parody,
Man Baby,
will be the Man Baby himself. Will be presenting.
Oh, that's so hilarious.
Are you saying that
I've got the night off?
Yes, I'm saying. So we have to do this when we could be going to a Halloween party.
Love it.
No.
Listen, if you think that's bad, right? Some point this week, right? I have got to sit through 2.5 hours of that shite. Grabbing stills for the show.
The last Jedi.
Yeah. Make sure you get a good shot of the boobs that the green milk from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got to sit through that, and I tried watching The Last Jedi a few months ago, and I think I got into about 20 minutes, and I just thought, no. No.
Get a good shot of Luke throwing his lightsaber over his shoulder too.
Yeah.
I bet you Ryan thought he was really being clever there. I bet you when he was on set, he was like, the people are going to love this.
Well, I don't even think that's it. I think he was just like, haha, I'm going to show those Star Wars fans that a non-fan can actually make a decent movie and that'll teach them to talk shit. Well, where are you now, Ryan Johnson? Doing nothing. How's your trilogy going, by the way?
No, he's just finished Knives Out 2, isn't he? Yeah. So he's doing well, isn't he?
I will just say to everybody in the chat and people who are going to be watching this on the re-rub, especially if you've got to the end, because we're going to finish in a moment, please share the next week's, the link for next week's stream, because I genuinely think this is going to be a lot of fun having Ruin Johnson presenting, because when he is a guest, and Matthew will agree with me, he's so funny.
He's hilarious.
He's so hilarious. I just think next week is going to be fantastic.
Well, you're assuming we're going to be here next week. We might be at Halloween party. It's Halloween.
Are you going to be at a Halloween
what I
party,
mean?
Ian?
I might be.
He's going to search one out now. Or he's going to throw one.
We will be on the Saturday night, so it will not be Halloween itself.
Yes, that's where parties happen.
Yeah.
The Saturday night before the Halloween.
We're gonna be here, Ian. So we're gonna
I
be
can't
here.
quit you, Brown.
Oh, that is so romantic.
Unfortunately, on 2 hours, the critical drinker is doing an EFAP
Oh dear.
because he did get in contact and he's unavailable. He's doing an EFAP. So
Oh, that's so sweet
yeah.
that he actually
Oh, he wrote you back.
contacted you.
yeah.
Did he say like he'd be interested in doing another time, or maybe
I
hit me
asked
up
him
later?
about Christmas. He's not
I
replied.
don't
yet.
know. That's what he said.
Go away
Oh
now.
my
It
God.
took him 5 days to reply back to the
Hey, the
original
fact that he
email.
did was awesome
Yeah.
because I don't know him well enough to know if he's one of those guys. It's like,
Um,
you know what, you're beneath me. I don't know
yeah.
you. You
The idea, the dream lineup for the show would have been Doomcock and Critical Drinker on the same with Ruin doing
they are
this.
great together. But
Fucking
Do you listen to
don't want-
Doomcock's last one?
Been
with
fucking
Brown?
amazing.
Like
Did you
I
listen
love.
to?
I
You
love
didn't?
Doomcock. He is really awesome and he's a great person, but I can only imagine the rage that he would spew during that show.
Doomcock, please come on.
His rants are so awesome, but I
Please
just
make
am
the
afraid that
exception for Mr.
he will
Brown.
have such a huge rant that he might keel over, and I don't want that for him. So,
He was talking about Kathleen Kennedy in his
Oh
last
yeah,
one,
I
wasn't
saw
he?
that.
no,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it? I hope
Yeah.
they do let her go because she's literally destroying all the stuff that people like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what's funny?
Harrison
It's like
Ford
they
is-
kept her just out of spite,
well, I think it's the contract that they had to keep her. I think she was under contract. I'm not sure
No, but
though.
they
But
renewed it another 3 years, like 3 years ago.
apparently,
remember?
apparently, Harrison Ford has injured himself again.
Yeah, it's been
Apparently,
Because
put
he's
back a year,
old.
hasn't it? Yeah.
he's 81, isn't he? 81.
And Igor and Paycheck are realizing they're kind of getting to know what's happening on set, and it's like, oh,
So I've heard, yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Like left hand's doing what the right hand doesn't know.
yeah.
about.
So, yeah, everything seems to be coming together in not in a good way either, or it's on hold for another year. So, yeah.
And hello to King Dolphin TV.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right then, guys, I think that's it. So I will just say to the chat, the homework for next week is to sit through the ordeal that is The Last Jedi.
Not a chance.
Drink lots of beer.
So, boys and girls in the chat, I do thank you for your time this evening. We are nothing without you guys. Always enjoy the interaction. I will thank the guests. PCAT, thank you, my friend.
Thank you very much for having me pinch hit tonight. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming on, mate. Thanks for stepping in. Cheers, my friend. Rennie, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Always a pleasure and always an honor to be here with you guys. So much fun.
It wasn't the same last week without a show, was it?
Yeah, it was a little sad and
Yeah.
empty.
Yeah. Swappers, thank you.
You're absolutely welcome. mate.
There you go, ladies and
my
gentlemen.
God, I love you, Matt.
Matt demonstrates the secret of comedy.
Timing.
Indeed. And last but not least, the wonderful Mega Geek himself. Cheers, Ian.
Yeah, no worries, guys. No worries.
Great to have you on, mate.
Can't quit you.
Can't quit you, bro.
Somebody
Cheers,
quit
Ian.
it.
Cheers, Ian.
No worries.
I think that's it then, boys and girls. I don't think I've forgotten anybody. So everybody in the chat, thank you, boys and girls. We will see you for the big one next week. I am going to do my damnedest to get Doomcock on. So
Yeah.
Doomcock, please.
Yeah,
You'll know
Come on.
Doomcock. You know you'll have a good time. Right then, boys and
I
girls.
love
So
his
that's it.
rants. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.